The PlayStation 5 Pro is all about enhancing your favourite games, but which ones are truly getting the most out of it? Well, that's what I am here for today. So hello, it's Aidan from Push Square with a list of 10 of the best PS5 Pro Enhanced games. Before we get into the list, I want to honourably mention Kayak VR Mirage, the PSVR 2 kayaking game that was already one of the best visual VR experiences that Sony had to offer. But this PS5 Pro update, which includes 8K textures, truly is night and day, making this a wonder to just exist in, but for a moment. Properly starting off the list though, we have The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered. Now before you start typing away, already saying, yeah, this was a PS4 game, lol. Yeah, alright mate, we get it. But does that deny the fact that this already gorgeous and brilliant game is now even better on the Pro? No, it doesn't. With the support of VRR, The Last of Us Part 2 Remastered is now able to use PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PSSR, to upscale its resolution, whilst keeping the frame rate at upwards of 90 frames per second. The base game was running at 30 FPS on PS4, so now we have triple that with the same level of polish to gameplay and an added sheen to graphics. It's genuinely a wonder. Part 2 has some of the best third-person shooting ever, really, so having a smoothness to that movement fluidity is quite transformative. I really didn't think I'd be so blown away by this update to this game, but here we are. Next up, Dead Island 2 is one of those decent little games that you just kind of forget about. I know I've been guilty of that for sure, but thanks to the Pro patch, I took a trip back to the zombie-infested beaches of Hell A, and this one is a stunner. The Pro patch sees resolution bumped up to 4K with a bunch of other improvements such as improved shadow quality, longer draw distances, and improved motion blur, and so on. That means that when you're tearing the flesh from a zombie with the game's multitude of customizable weaponry, it looks better than ever. I think this was one of those games where the vibrant art style actually done a lot of the heavy lifting visually, despite it still being a nice looking game from a fidelity perspective, but the Pro patch amps things even further, and I thought it felt like a far smoother experience. It is no word of a lie that when I heard about the Pro, one of the first games I got really excited about playing on it was the Crew Motorfest. I love a casual racer, and Motorfest scratches that Forza itch here on PS5, but it had that standard gaming question: performance or fidelity. The fidelity mode on base PS5 always looked far better, with grand details to its sweeping Hawaiian landscapes and that shine to cars that everybody loves in a good racer. But it was running at a choppy 30 FPS, and by comparison, the 60 FPS performance mode just looked really muddy in my opinion. So the Pro does exactly what it said it would do, with a combination of both bringing 4K visuals with PSSR and 60 frames per second. So now I can take in the scenery of the Crew Motorfest whilst holding on to that smoother performance that I feel is kinda necessary for a racer. From an arcade racer to a racing simulator, Gran Turismo 7 has become a true technical showcase thanks to the PlayStation 5 Pro. This version of the game now includes a ray tracing mode, 120Hz support, and even 8K support. Unlike the Crew, Gran Turismo 7's visuals are all about selling the cars with clean-cut visuals and dynamic colouring. The ray tracing mode in particular brings a new layer of shine to the whole thing, and it never gets tiring seeing the passing lights flicker off the top of your car or the hue of a passing vehicle showing up on your reflections. The whole Gran Turismo aesthetic is very clean and realistic, and I think this feeds into that even more. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth was one of those games that felt like it needed a Pro version with a practically blurry performance mode on the base PS5. Now that is simply just no longer the case with the new PS5 Pro update. It still comes with a bunch of quality and performance options like high frame rate with a softer image, high frame rate with a harder image, and then a versatility mode that keeps the resolution high and tries to keep the frame rate high too. I've been playing on the versatility mode and it really is the star here, using PSSR to vastly upgrade that visual sharpness whilst maintaining a relatively steady 60 frames per second. For an open world game like this, I think the higher frame rate is needed, especially when it comes to combat, so having a version that doesn't look muddy by comparison to the quality mode is very much welcome, bringing the country plains of Rebirth setting to life. Now, I really was not expecting too much with God of War Ragnarok, but it genuinely is really impressive just how much of a visual sharpening this one got with the Pro enhancements. Already a looker on PS5, the Pro version just adds some greater fidelity while still allowing the game to run at 60 FPS. That in itself is enough for me, but for the frame rate lovers out there, there is also an unlocked frame rate mode for VRR displays that allows up to 120 frames per second, a setting I'm sure would be handy for those tougher combat encounters. Just seeing the snow though blowing across icy landscapes or the twinkle in the eyes of Kratos, it really adds to the immersion of the experience. I swear I felt colder playing this one. Horizon Forbidden West was already a technical showcase on the PS5 with one of the most vibrant worlds ever put to a games console. Obviously, this was also a PS4 game, somehow, but Guerrilla actually upped the ante when it released the Burning Shores DLC exclusively for PS5. Now though, with the PS5 Pro here, Forbidden West has leveled up once more. Truth be told, this is one of those ones you probably won't notice without a big 4K TV, but the whole package is just so impressive. I was a little let down to see a 30 FPS mode still an option here with the quality mode, but as you're maybe picking up from these other entries, the performance modes are really king on the Pro. Lords of the Fallen is the Souls-like from Hexworks, which reeled me in with its deeply dark fantasy world, which was again wrapped up in a fantastic double dimension mechanic. The game looks pretty great on PS5, but it wasn't the most stable game about. Now with the Pro Enhanced version, which is broken down into quality and performance mode options, the upscaled 4K with a rock solid 60 FPS in performance mode is truly game changing for this experience. This is one of the best examples of PSSR in my opinion, with the visual fidelity being so far improved, it really is impressive. Now I don't think these games are entirely necessary for higher frame rates. Certainly Elden Ring gets away with it, but there's no denying that higher frame rates, whilst keeping a hold of those dark little details of its world, are the best way to play it. No Man's Sky is the gift that keeps on giving. Hello Games have impressively continued to support this game for, geez, I mean, how long has it been?
A few moments later.
My god, it's been 8 years at this point. That's kind of crazy. But anyway, they have been bringing game-changing updates and quality of life improvements to this game for a while, making its experience vastly different from what it launched with. Already a visually distinct game, No Man's Sky has gone even further with a Pro update. The PS5 Pro now allows the game to run at 4K 60 thanks to PSSR, but there is actually an 8K 30 mode available for supporting monitors too. However, it doesn't just stop there, with improved lighting, higher quality reflections and ambient occlusion across both the 8K and 4K modes, and to make things even better, all of these updates also apply to the PSVR 2 version of the game. With its vibrant colours and stunning vistas, the universe of No Man's Sky is unlike anything else, especially now that it all looks crisper than ever. Spider-Man 2 was quite the step up from the PlayStation 4 original, adding a layer of believability to its bustling New York City. Already a technical marvel on the base PS5, the Pro version actually serves to boost things even further with a Pro Performance and Pro Fidelity option. Both modes run at 4K with ray tracing and upwards of 60 FPS. Truthfully, the Fidelity mode, while really nice, isn't obviously better than the performance mode. The ray tracing is just a bit more defined if you're really into that, but I didn't think it mattered too much when you're swinging through the streets at breakneck pace. No, it's the performance mode here which runs easily over 60 FPS with basic ray tracing and upscaled 4K, so you can swing around and catch a reflection of your superhero self off the passing skyscrapers. It looks phenomenal, truly, and each moment of my time with this game just felt like I was playing the best possible version that I could in that moment. So those are 10 of the best PS5 Pro Enhanced games out there. I do want to hear from you guys though. What games have you been playing? Which ones do you think have had the best upgrades? Let me know down in the comments below. And as always, if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like, and even better, subscribing to the channel for more PlayStation video content. Anyway, until next time, I've been Aaron, and this has been Push Square.